What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie, and this is part 49 of my reviewing and ranking Frank Zappa's guitar solos within the context of an album. So today I'm going to discuss Burnt Weeny Sandwich. There are 3 guitar solos on Burnt Weeny Sandwich. Then, using the guitar solos only, I'm going to rank Burnt Weeny Sandwich against the other 48 albums I've already ranked according to guitar solos only. So, Burnt Weeny Sandwich, one of my favorite Frank Zappa albums. And I think if I ultimately had to, and probably someday will, have I already done this? I think maybe I have. Did I already? If I had to rank guitar solos, like tours based on guitar solos only, like the 60s would probably fall towards the back of the list. Not that I'm always intrigued by Frank's playing, but when you take what he was playing in like 68 and 69, and you even compare it to like as recent as 71 in that gap, 70 had its moments, but 71, I think there were times when you're like, okay, we're leveling up a little bit here. It's quite a level up. But that being the case, I friggin' love the guitar solos on this album. I think they all fit in a very perfect slot. I think the sort of where they fit on the album, the accompaniment of, whatever the rhythm section is doing at the time. In one instance, it's just Frank and Tripp going at it. It's just 3 of them, but I like the variety. I like what they bring. And they're just, I don't know, I think they're really, really just special solos. So I'm just going to talk about the 3 solos briefly, and then I'll put the order up on the screen, though I'm sure 3 is an easy order to remember. And then I will show you where this album compares to the other. So number 3 would be Little House I Used to Live In. This is quite the monster track, pretty much a whole bunch of different compositions from sort of different eras, live stuff, some studio stuff from the Hot Rat sessions. All this stuff is just kind of edited together into this monster piece. And the guitar solo, roughly about a minute. It's from the Royal Albert Hall show from June 6th, 1969. All the solos here are from 69. And it's just him and Tripp. It's in the middle of something. I don't know what it's in the middle of. But he and Tripp just kind of go off. It's right sort of towards the end of Little House I Used to Live In, right before we drop into the incredibly massive and awesome solo section. We drop into this little weird guitar solo, and I think Tripp is the only person in the back playing. And this is from, it's from the Royal Albert Hall, but I'm not really sure what it's from. Like what, maybe Return, no, I don't think is it at the end of Return of the Hunchback Duke? Maybe. I don't know, but it's from that June 669 show, edited together a little bit. But yeah, it's just fantastic. It's just this really aggressive. It's about a minute of Frank just attacking. It's a really nice sort of segue into sort of this massive section where we get like a violin, piano solos, into this really awesome long stretch of music. And it's just this really short, intense burst of soloing. About what, 4 minutes in? About 4 minutes into Little House I Used to Live In. So yeah, my number 3. My number 2 would be the Holiday in Berlin full-blown solo. This is from July 8th, 1969, The Ark. And I just love everything about the Holiday in Berlin full-blown guitar solo. I just think it's in this weird, I love the rhythmic space that it's in. It has this very sort of, the beginning of it has this sort of somber, reflective, but still very intense, like not a mellow somber, but kind of an intense, there's like a mysterious darkness about it. Not here, but eventually this guitar solo, when Frank would start it, would morph into the beginning of, would morph into what is the ending of the Inca Road solo, like the da-na-na-na-na, and he would play that, and then he would drop into like the solo. We don't get that here, but you can hear like little bits. You can hear some of the melody of that Inca Roads, just especially when Frank first starts off. But then we go into just like, a nice, really fantastic solo. I think this is one of those where Frank's guitar playing is definitely like the environment that it's in, the rhythm section, just the chords that are being played, just the whole, it coming out of Holiday in Berlin, Full Blown, which is such a majestic, fantastic, perfect song. Yeah, it's just a really good groove and a really good vibe, and it just works perfectly on the album, and it just feels like it's just a really good, like almost proggy type guitar solo. It's just absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite things from like the late 60s, early 70s that Frank did. But that would be number 2, Holiday in Berlin, Full Blown. And then my number 1 solo from this album is Theme from Burnt Weenie Sandwich. This is studio. A whole bunch is going on in this track. It's an instrumental track. It is this very almost like rhythm section, just this very almost like percussion-y, rhythm-y type jam just going on. And then Frank's guitar is just this like wiggling, squirming, like snake, just kind of going around and through and under. I always visualize when I think about this, for some reason, water always comes to mind, but I think of like a surfer who has caught like literally the longest wave in the history of like the world. And like the whole solo is him just like coming up and riding down and then going in the curl and then coming out. And it's just like riding it for like 3-4 minutes. It just has this really flowing, moving forward, but at the same time, like dodging things and going up and down and in and under. It is just such a magnificent. The track itself with the solo is fantastic. Where it sits on the album is absolutely fantastic. Like this is probably it's probably easily one of the top 5 albums as far as the most I've listened to in my life, as far as Zappa goes, and then maybe high up just because it is Zappa. Everything about Theme from Burnt Weenie Sandwich is perfect, but it's that guitar solo, just that slithering, slinky, just kind of, it's just, it's one of the greatest little grooves ever. And it's like fully a production. It fully sounds like just this studio creation, and it sounds like Frank's, who knows what's going on, but there's just so much going on. But the guitar solo is like the heart of it. It's the thing you're holding on to. It's like a roller coaster, and you're just going back and forth. And it's the guitar solo that you hold on to as you observe all the craziness that's going on around it. It's just, I don't know. It's a fantastic, fantastic piece of music. But yeah, that's what they look like in order right there, those 3. And where the big question for me, the hard question for me, now that we're at like 49 albums, where would I rank this among the other 48? I have it in the top half. I have it dropped it in right at number 18. Like none of the solos are bad, but other than like the theme from Burnt Weenie Sandwich, I think the Holiday in Berlin and the Little House are just really good and work well in the context. I'm not sure, like, if you were actually just like, I want you to look at this solo and analyze this solo, I'm not sure the solos themselves are like next level, but everything around them is. And I really like it, and I look forward to this album because of those guitar solos. So I had to put it at 18. Once you get below 18, there are solos on those albums that I'm like, okay, that solo maybe is weak, maybe not that good. But then when you get above it, there are things that are just much better than have at least maybe 2 really great guitar solos or 3, where this one I think just has 1 absolutely great one. But there's nothing bad on here. It's just really effective in its use of guitar. Frank did a fantastic job on this. The solos he chose. But yeah, that's all I got. All right, let me know what you think of this album. Let me know what you think of these guitar solos. Let me know what you think of Frank's playing in the 60s. Oh, yeah, and if you saw that intro in the beginning, which I've yet to make, but I'm going to make right now, yeah, if you know of a connection to the Pogues, drop it in the comments, please. I would appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and go listen to Burnt Weenie Sandwich, people. Go listen. Go enjoy yourself a Burnt Weenie Sandwich.